Welcome to the Notespire Music Artist Insight Podcast, giving you a unique insight into the music and ministries of independent Christian artists. Here's your host, Paul Gibbs.
Thank you very much, Bob. Welcome, everyone, to the Artist Insight Podcast. It is so great to be with you once again. Our guest is from South Africa. This is so great. We get to talk to artists from around the world, guys. This is awesome. Her name is Carli Lessing, and she is talking to us from where are you in South Africa, Carli?
Hi, Paul. So nice to meet you and to speak to everyone on Notespire. Yes, I am in a coastal town called Hermanus in South Africa. So those of you who might be familiar with South Africa, we are pretty close to Cape Town, which is at the southern point of Africa.
Wow, you are way down there. And I think you said before we hit record that it's, of course, you've got a nice autumn day down there.
Yeah, such a beautiful day to begin this Easter weekend here, and yeah, just lovely weather for everybody that's making the most of this for a tourist destination as well.
So that is a tourist destination down there. I can imagine it would be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Look out for South African wines. So this is a very famous wine area of South Africa. So you might also in the US get some of the wines from this area.
Okay. I go for the sweeter. And I bet you've got some great stuff down there. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys should check it out. All the wines from here. We do a lot of Chardonnay, so don't know if it's going to be sweet enough for you.
Okay, probably not. Oh well. Anyway, so I want to ask you: are you in? By your accent, I'm going to think the answer is yes. You are a native of that area.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my first mother tongue is actually Afrikaans. So that's where my accent comes from. You'll hear me say "ja" maybe a couple of times. So
Okay.
that means yes in Afrikaans.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I gotta ask. I'm just a personal curiosity, and I guess I never really knew the similarity between your accent. Almost it sounds kind of British, but is there
Oh,
a
wow.
Is there a connection or not?
Yes, so
Is it?
I mean, South Africa was a British colony way back when, right?
Yeah.
So the main influences into the culture was the British coming in, and then the Dutch that obviously settled first here. So
Okay.
Afrikaans comes from Dutch. It was actually derived from Dutch, and then we've got a lot
Really?
of our culture, also derives from the British. So that's the main two influences here.
No
Um,
kidding.
at least for people that came from Europe to settle here in South Africa.
Okay. That is interesting. We could do it a whole nother podcast, whole separate podcast on that, but we won't. I think the accent is fascinating. I really do. And yours is unique, being Afrikaans. If I'm saying that right. Yeah, it's a fresh. Oh, that is really cool. I wonder if we've got anybody listening in South Africa. If you guys are, and you have a way to make a comment, please let us know that you're listening from in South Africa. Carli would love to, and I would love to know that if that's possible. I just saw something or someone come down your stairs. You have a cat.
Sorry,
Yeah,
that's
no,
my
that's good.
dog. That's my
That's your
dog
dog?
running up and down the stairs in the background. You might also still see my kids tonight running up and down, so
Okay.
apologize in advance for that.
So what's speaking of that? What time is it there?
So it's now just after 7 p.m.
Okay. Yeah, we're and okay. So we're just after 1 p.m. here. Okay. Oh, this is fascinating. I just love this. I just loved the technology. And I'm going to just say this real quick. Jesus told his disciples, "These things you will do, and greater things you will do." The disciples could not have, in their wildest dreams, even though they had seen all the miracles that Jesus did,
Mm.
talking to someone around the world from the others you were,
Mm.
but here we are. Anyway, praise
Yeah.
God for that. Praise God for that.
That is absolutely amazing. I just also love connecting with various people around the world that is passionate about building God's kingdom, and various songwriters over the world that I've been privileged to meet. So yeah, I mean, obviously it was a hard time going through COVID for everybody, but it
Yeah.
brought so many opportunities as well for people to connect and just get together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean, COVID, was a terrible thing in so many ways, but yet there was a silver lining there, or light at the end of the tunnel, that it just made us, we just found ways to connect, didn't we? Yeah. And we're still, a lot of us are still doing that. Speaking of that, so on your story on your website, and I got to read this from your website. Hailing from the picturesque coastal town of, say it for me, Hermanus?
Hermanus.
Hermanus in South
Yeah.
Africa. Yeah, you are Christian pop artist, songwriter, worship leader, captured the hearts of listeners worldwide. And it goes on to talk about your partnering with other artists. And we talk a lot about that here on Notespire. How wonderful. I mean, it's great when if an artist can do it all. That's awesome. That's awesome. And if that's the way God's leading you, that's great. But we just don't want anybody to be improper. I'm going to say it this way: improperly resistant to the opportunities that collaboration brings. I was talking to an artist just the other day. She doesn't play any instruments, but she knows how to write lyrics. She knows how to sing a melody, but she almost has to collaborate to get the songs out there. So you have had some great experience with collaboration, haven't you?
Yes, it's been such a blessing for me. So, sorry, I've collaborated with various artists just in terms of songwriting. And I have actually been privileged to release a song with a Philippine artist, Christian artist called Mary Oz. We released a Christmas song together 2 years ago. So that was just absolutely fantastic to be able to collaborate in this way over Zoom, write a song, even record it together. We recorded some of the music here in South Africa, and then released it together. And other inspiring artists all over the world. So, American artist Nicole Norton and I wrote a song called "Don't You Dare Give Up." And that song went on to be a finalist in the UK songwriting competition, and has been translated into Spanish as well. So it's absolutely fantastic to see how God connects people from all over the world with a heart to serve Him and to build His kingdom. And it's been such a blessing for me.
How did let's take that one. Like I had written that one down to talk about. Don't you dare give up. How did that collaboration come about? Was that something that you sought out, or did it kind of just happen? Did someone else seek you out?
So, how it happened is I was part of a group called the Kingdom Music Academy, led by an artist called Brad, with the name Brad Guldemont, out of Nashville. And I joined some of their sessions that they had online. They have these sessions where they just talk about songwriting and being a Christian artist. And on one of these sessions, Nicole shared one of her songs. And I was just really impressed with her songwriting and just her heart for Jesus. And I decided to reach out and just tell her that I enjoyed her song, and if she ever wanted to collaborate, that would be like amazing, and I'd love to write with her sometime. And we set up a date, and we wrote 3 songs together, and this was one of them. And then she decided to release it the next year, and so we've been just so blessed with the response we've gotten from the song.
So she released it. She was the artist on it then.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
Yeah,
called Don't You Dare Give Up, guys. You want to look up that song. I'm going to take just a second here, let people know where they can find you. People may not be able to stay with us here for the whole, and of course they can always come back. But let's let people know where they can find you real quick, Carli.
Yeah, sure. I think basically the easiest is to go to my website. So that's www.carlilessing.co.za. So just note the co.za because that's a South African extension for websites.
Okay.
And Carli you spell Carli. Yeah, just go look me up there. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, but probably the easiest to go to my website. All the links are there.
Okay. If you guys got any confusion there, just type in Carli Lessing, Lessing. Like she said, it's like blessing without the B. Carli Lessing, and just type. And in fact, when I was looking, I typed in Carli Lessing music, and I found you. So there we go.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
So guys, do please look her up, and I hope you'll be able to stay with us for the rest of the interview. And I want to remind you guys that you can always come back because we're wherever you're listening, this is going to be on your favorite podcast site and also on our YouTube channel at Notespire Music TV. All right, just get that out of the way. We'll repeat that later on. So, Carli, talk about the song Promises. This was in a competition and kind of did pretty well. Tell us about this song.
Yeah, so Promises I wrote with my friend that stays here in Hermanus, actually. She stays literally 2 streets from me, my best friend Anneline Higu. And we just basically wrote the song about promises that the Lord gave Anneline. So her husband went through a very tough time with cancer, and it's been a very tough journey for them. And she wrote down all the promises that God was giving her along the way in her diary. And so we write together regularly. And that morning, she just said she really would love to write a song about God's promises, just to remind them, just about God's promises as they go through this time. And we wrote the song that morning. And it's just really a very special song for us. And and then I saw on Instagram there's a group, Mercy Tribe Music, that champions female Christian artists in the US, led by an artist called Meg Ammons. And I saw this coming past. I follow her on Instagram, and I saw they were having a competition for female songwriters. So I just thought, well, what songs do I have that I've written with female friends? And I thought about Promises and entered it, and we actually won the Christian Contemporary category with Promises.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Wow. I'm flabbergasted because you just never know. Well, a lot of artists say, "Oh, my song's not good enough. Why bother? I have to pay a whole bunch of money to enter my song. It's just a scam, etc., etc." But that's not always true. Yeah. So, guys, step out in faith if you need to. Sounds like that's what you did, Carli. You just said, "Okay, God just kind of laid that in your lap and to do that, right?"
Yeah, no, that was just so special. Like we actually never planned on taking the song beyond just that moment where we wrote it. It was so personal for us, and actually, when we met with Meg, later we met her and talked to her about the song. She said it just touched her so deeply when she listened to it, and that was just such a testimony of stuff what only God can do. And so another story about the song is we actually released the song. Then Anneline released it as an artist, and we've got a mutual friend here in Hermanus who doesn't believe in God. And she went through a tough time. Her husband died in an accident a year ago, and So the date that Annelien released the song was the anniversary of his death. And she sent it to this friend, and it was just amazing how God used the song to speak to her on this day. And she later sent my friend a message to say, like, she's not a believer at all, and she just felt that there was this presence with her as she listened to the song, and she was comforted. And she doesn't know how to describe it, but like through the day, she just kept on listening to the song, and it just carried her through this very hard day. And to me, it's just, that's why we make music. A lot of times people say, "Yo, you do it for the one person," and we don't really mean it.
Yeah.
We actually want to do it for the 1,000 people, or the more, all the followers. But if you hear a story like that, one person that was touched and that was like experienced the presence of God in a very tough moment through a song you put out, yeah, that's what it's all about. So
You said it well. That's what it's all about right there. We so often, if we see, we've only got 2 or 3 views or downloads or streams or whatever, and so has got 14.2 gazillion, so we're a failure. But if we only knew, and sometimes we do, I think more often, Carly, we don't know
no.
who we're touching. But if we did, you said it. You said it so well. Guys, I want you to listen. I want you to hear that message. Don't you dare shy back from, if you've only got just a handful of streams or whatever, you don't think your song's good, whatever, don't you ever shrink back from what God is calling you to do, because it's in his hands. All right. It's his gift. Give it to him. Watch what he can do. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, hey, I want to ask you too now about your own musical gifts, of course, songwriting, singing, and things, but instruments, guitar, piano, anything? Yes, all the above.
Yeah, well, I started playing piano when I was very small. I think I was like 4 or 5, and I sat down at the piano, and I remember composing even then, like composing music and sitting at the piano for hours. So my mom had no choice to actually send me for lessons. So yeah,
we gotta get this girl better. She's
exactly. I'm sure it wasn't the prettiest thing.
Yeah, we can't listen to this all day. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so piano has always been my first love and my main instrument. But then in high school, I picked up a guitar, and I taught myself guitar, and I just love guitar. So I also have an electric guitar, which I absolutely love to plug into my amp and play some rock music.
I gotta ask you, what kind of guitar and amp do you have?
So
a guitar player myself.
I have an Ibanez, both an Ibanez amp and an Ibanez guitar. Okay. So I keep it in the family.
Yep. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. So do you, when you write mostly with piano, though, I'm assuming? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a mixture. Sometimes if I write an up-tempo song, I pick up the guitar, because it's just... It leans itself to up-tempo, right? So it's easier to follow the rhythm with that. Right. And even these days, I've learned to write to a track. So as my songwriting progressed, sometimes I would write to a track, or I produce my own music. So sometimes I find a loop or something that inspires me, and I start playing around, and it inspires me in a different way. So I think it's really cool to play different instruments as you write.
Yeah. Each instrument can kind of take you in a different direction, and then when you combine those, it's like, wow. Yeah. So let's switch over to, I know that you are a wife and the mother of 3 lovely girls. So I don't know how much you want to share about that, but we'd love to hear whatever you want to share.
Yeah, so I've got 3 lovely girls. My eldest is 13, and I've got twins that are 11.
Twins,
all girls, yeah. So that's been a really interesting journey. They only differ 18 months.
Okay.
So yeah, so that was quite overwhelming when they were small.
Bet it
But
was.
through the grace of God, we got through that.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow got our personalities back after that.
Yep.
Um, but yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Some
they've been,
people out there, they're nodding their head. Yep, I know
yeah,
what she's
yeah.
talking about.
There's some moms out there, they're still in the trenches, they're going through
Yeah.
those days where you wake up and you don't know how you're going to get through the day. Yeah, if you're out there listening and you've got twins that are toddlers or babies, I just want to encourage you, first of all, take all the help you can get. There's lots of good people around who can help, and just want to encourage you, take it one day at a time. I remember every night my husband and I just prayed before we went to bed and said, God, give us the strength for another night and another day, and take it one day at a time, and then one day you'll look up and they'll be big and they'll be able to make their own food and they'll be able to help themselves, and you'll be able to have a conversation and just
Yeah.
see what amazing people they're becoming. So
That's for sure. That's for sure. I like to say they go from the car seat to the driver's seat. Seems like overnight. And yet it's not overnight. It's day by
it's
day.
not. No, it's
I
not.
remember when my daughter was born, she was, and then she was like 2, 3 years old. I could not imagine. And you're already kind of can sense what the process, and there's other people that'll know just what I'm talking about from just looking back. But I couldn't imagine my daughter going to kindergarten, and I raised two. My daughter was first, and my son.
Yeah.
They were about 3.5 years apart. But so same goes for my son. But it was for my daughter because she was the first. Couldn't imagine her going to kindergarten. But then once she got into kindergarten, first, second grade, I could not imagine her going to junior high or high school.
Yeah.
And yet, or college. Wait a minute. No,
Yeah.
that's not, I can't. But yet when that happened, okay, all right, we're here and this is happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to, I'll share an encouragement that you're giving to maybe our listeners that need, it's okay. And I love what you said, Carli, one day at a time. You can't take your kindergartner and start worrying about them going to college. It doesn't work. You can't do that. No, but you can think about, okay, Lord, give me strength for the next day, for tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's awesome. So, are they musical yet? Do they showing any signs? Yeah.
Yes, they all three are very musical, and
Okay.
that's been such a blessing. From the beginning, I said, look, whatever they want to be, that's fine. I'm not going to
Yeah.
push them into anything. But it's been such a blessing that they all three are musical. My eldest plays the piano and sings. The twins both play instruments. One of the twins play the flute, and the other one also plays piano. And they all sing in the choir, and it's amazing to see them grow in that as well. And
Wow.
like just last week, my eldest decided she wants to play electric now, so I need to start teaching her electric.
Rock.
So that's been really cool.
Oh, you're gonna have the family band here. How about your husband? Is he musical as well?
He bought a bass recently just so he could join in.
Okay.
So he's decided he's going to be the bassist because that's according to him probably the easiest thing he's going to learn.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But actually, no, he's not. He doesn't really come from any musical background or anything. He appreciates music quite a bit, but yeah.
Well, you better.
Better in this house.
Yeah.
Good luck if you don't.
Oh yeah, right. I'm going out in the garage. Anyway, Carli, let's talk about and you mentioned this earlier, Afrikaans. If I may not be pronouncing that quite right. Your bio on your website, you talk about Afrikaans worship music, and you've got some things on there, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce them. But can you tell us a little bit about? I mean, we think of the term African. Okay, South Africa, et cetera, yeah, African, whatever. But Afrikaans, spelled Afrikaans, you talk about Afrikaans worship music. Tell us a little bit educate us on what that is, because you've talked about like in church and things like that, and different albums that you've actually released. Yeah, talk about that a little bit for us.
Yeah, so when I went to university, I really had my first contact with worship music and with a band in church, because I grew up in what we call here the Reformed Church, which probably is similar to your Baptist or Methodist background.
Okay.
And we never had a band in church. So I went to university and I went with a friend to a service, and there was a band in church, and I was just absolutely overwhelmed. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a whole new world that went open for me. Yeah, the Lord really met me through music, through worship music. And it was quite a journey for me to get involved in the church there, and started leading worship at a first year's camp, and got thrown into the deep end there. So I really have a love for worship music, and yeah, so it's just normal contemporary worship music. It's just in Afrikaans. And it's just that there's not so much of it out there, you know. So there's a few groups here that make Afrikaans worship music and write it. But I always felt like I wanted more music in the church, and I started writing for my own congregation. And then at a point, I felt a calling to just, give it to other churches. So if they wanted music to sing, and that's where this whole journey started. So, yeah, I recorded my first album. It was CDs back in those days.
You don't go back to cassettes, huh? Not that far.
No, not cassette. Do you go back to cassettes, Paul?
I started in cassette. Yeah, I started. My first album was on a cassette. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, my first one was a CD, and it was a big story. Recorded everything myself as an independent artist, but got a producer, and I remember just like through the mail, like posting people like sampler CDs that had like the 3 songs on it with a PowerPoint presentation they can use in church, and with the chord sheets, and I had it on my website, and people could send me their addresses, and then I would post it to them. And it was just all about, my heart was just to serve the church, and everywhere there was Afrikaans congregations that wanted new music to serve them. And yeah, in that way, my music traveled to Namibia. It traveled to the UK, to Afrikaans congregations there. I posted a CD to people in Australia that had a Afrikaans congregation there. So yeah, that was just such a fantastic experience, connecting with people all over the world that wanted to sing Afrikaans in their worship services.
How does it differ, maybe, or not, musically, from what we might be used to here in the States, or is it?
Well, the style of music I record is pretty much in line with your big contemporary worship guys. So in the style of Bethel or Hillsong. At that stage, I was very influenced by Hillsong United. I kept thinking, like, what if Afrikaans worship music could sound like Hillsong United? That would be so amazing. And I was really inspired by that. And I think that's the style that I really like, playing in church as well. So yeah, so that's there's obviously, like any kind of there's different congregations with different styles. Some of them might lean more towards different styles of music in their worship, but lots of congregations here have just contemporary music, like you would have in I guess any congregation in America that plays that style of music.
So, Guys, I want to. I think we're probably piquing some people's curiosity here, Carli. So I just want to point out, guys, if you're listening, watching, go to her website, Carli Lessing Music. Find that, and there's some samples. There's not just samples, the whole albums here. So if you guys want to hear what Carli is talking about, this is really great. I mean, it's again, these are different. I'm looking at the website again. I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of the titles. But
Yeah, don't worry about that.
okay, I'm not. Yeah, we're just going to gloss right over that. But guys, go there and check it out. That is what she's talking about. The worship music is all of there. Carli, let's. A lot of people, especially even some listening right now, may be Christian artists that have I don't know, maybe like all of us, myself included, struggled with different things. It seems like whenever we try to use our gifts for the Lord, the enemy just comes along and man, he just knows exactly what buttons to push. He knows exactly where to put the roadblocks. Anything the enemy can do to stop us from doing what God wants us to do, he's going to do. So I like to ask people as we conclude our interviews is what advice what first of all, what obstacles you might have faced, have faced, and maybe some thoughts about ways that you have found to overcome an obstacle or two, and maybe to offer some encouragement about that to somebody that's kind of maybe facing the same thing right now or something similar or will face it. Yeah, any thoughts there?
Yeah, the first thing that God's just putting on my heart to share is probably I've struggled with along the through the years wondering, am I good enough?
Mm,
And I think a lot of us have that question in our hearts, like, should I even try? Am I good enough?
yeah.
And we compare ourselves against other people that's doing the same thing, and we think, oh no, I'm not as talented as those people are. I shouldn't try. Or maybe you've tried. Maybe you've gone out on the limb and you've gone out and you've gone for a competition, or you've applied for a worship leader job and you didn't get it. And now you feel like, no, that's confirmation I'm not good enough. You know what?
Wow.
That kind of thing can really, really influence your journey and keep you back from doing what God wants you to do. And I just want to encourage anybody that's listening that also felt that way. We've really got to get our calling and our, identity from God and not from our circumstances. I've had to actually go back and in my prayer time just ask God, I'm struggling with this again. I feel like I'm not good enough. Please, you've got to tell me what you think, what you want me to do. What do you think I'm good enough? And you know what the answer is, God placed that talent in your heart, and that pull that you've got inside of you that tells you keep to write or to sing, you put it there in your heart. So, and I absolutely believe he doesn't make mistakes. You put it there for a reason, and obviously we all have like a responsibility to develop that and to develop our talents and grow in that. And I'm not saying everybody is meant to go stand on a big stage with 100,000 people, but if God gave you a gift, he wants you to enjoy it, and he wants you to enjoy it with him. And maybe you will choose to use that gift for one person, and maybe you will choose to use that gift in your church, or maybe in your small group, and maybe it will go beyond that. But the joy of it is doing it with God and taking one step at a time. And don't let anybody steal that joy from you, because that's really such a gift that God gives us. I truly believe God is the creator. He's the ultimate creator, and there's such a joy in creating with him. And he invites us into that. So we don't have to compare ourselves with other people around us to say, are we good enough? God just wants us to create with him and step into that calling that he has on our lives.
I love that. Love that. You said that similar things that we all face, and you've talked very well about that, but you put a very interesting and unique spin on that. I love that. And I know somebody was just blessed by all that you, including myself, because I struggle with it as well. We all do. We talk about that comparison trap, and we just get caught up in that. We like you said, we ask the question, are we good enough? Are we good enough? Am I good enough? And the flesh always says, the enemy whispers, no, you're not. But God says, that's not the question. That's not even the question to talk about. Of course you're good enough because I gave you the gift. Yeah, thank you, Carly. That was awesome. So, guys, I hope that you got a lot out of that. If you would like to touch base with Carli, please do that. Find her on Facebook and her website. It's Carli, Carli Lessing, Lessing. Let's see, the carlilessing.co.za. Yes, I'm reading that right from the URL. There we go. And again, just search her name and you will find. I want to remind you guys that if you were blessed by this and want to hear it again, you want to share it with somebody else, please do. We are broadcasting on our radio station, WNSMDB, Notespire Radio. We're broadcasting 24/7 on the internet, and this is the Artist Insight program. We're broadcasting it Wednesday, Fridays, and Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can hear it there. In fact, you may be hearing it right there. But the Artist Insight is also a podcast on your favorite podcast site. So go to iTunes or iHeartRadio, Podchaser, wherever you get your podcasts. And you can type in Notespire, Notespire, and then Artist Insight, or just type in Notespire. It's such a unique name. God gave us a very unique name, so that's pretty much all that you're going to find at this point. So you'll find it. And also, finally, this is on our YouTube channel at Notespire Music TV. And if you'd like to see our smiling faces along with all this, you are welcome to go there. All right. And email us, please, at info@notespiremusic.com. You can follow Notespire Music and Notespire Radio on Facebook and Instagram. And I think that takes care of all of that. Carli, any final thoughts for us before we let you head out?
Yeah, no, I just want to say thank you so much for your support and this opportunity to share my journey and my music. And it's been such a blessing. This is my first interview ever with an American radio station.
You're kidding.
It's been super special.
We are honored. Thank you. I'm not sure if we've interviewed anybody from South Africa. I think you might be the first. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
It is very cool. Yeah, a couple of firsts here today. Well, please do give our best to your husband and the girls and that dog that we saw running up and down the stairs. What's the dog's name again?
His name is Sokkies. So that's Afrikaans for socks.
Oh, socks. Yeah. Okay. Does he have socks, he or she?
Yeah. He's got these white tips of his feet. So, yeah.
Oh, cool. All right. Awesome. All right. Well, Carli, thank you once again. Now, as you guys, I just told you guys all the ways that you can hear this. Carli, keep the music coming, please. Any new releases, please make sure you send them to us so we can get them on the station. And hey, why don't we get together again down the road sometime, and we'll catch up again.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks so much for your time, Paul. It was great to meet you.
And you as well. God bless you. You take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thanks for listening to Notespire Radio Artist Insight. We hope you've enjoyed the program today, and join us next time when we again bring you a unique look into the lives, music, and ministries of Christian artists here on Notespire Radio Artist Insight.